Hello,
man.
world from Bagnaroo and hello from world from Melbourne, Australia.
From Melbourne, man. So you're living in Melbourne right now.
Currently, yeah, but hoping to move to Los Angeles in the next few years. Hopefully, to start
Yeah. Why
making waves
LA?
over there. I got spiritual shit to do, man, over there,
Hmm.
and like soul family healing, and but it won't just be LA. But I feel LA will be a base
Hmm.
eventually because I want to set up shop at the old Sharon Tate house up on
At the
Celio
who?
Drive. You know where the Sharon Tate house was?
The
Up on
Sharon who?
Sharon Tate, the actress, back in
Sharon
the
Tate. Yeah, yeah.
1960s.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
so you did say what I thought you said. Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah. Is the audio okay?
Yes, the audio was fine. It's perfectly fine. It's just it didn't
Oh, okay.
register. It's one of those things where you
All
said a
good.
name and
Yeah, but
it didn't quite register.
that's the house where I'm wanting to end up and do
Mm.
weddings, funerals, events, and of
Hmm.
course the mediumship and hypnosis stuff, and probably more so, which I'm already been hearing
Hmm.
around clearing haunted houses in the
Oh,
future,
okay.
closing
Okay.
portals,
Man, you
and
deep into you deep
yeah,
into it.
man, I'm deep into this shit. Um, but that all comes into it with through Reiki, energetic healing,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah,
rebalancing,
yeah.
as you
Of
know,
course.
or as we've already talked about already.
Hmm.
But at the same time, yeah, man, that's my long term goal at the moment. Get over to
Hmm.
the states. Hopefully, yeah. Hope everyone keeps saying, "Oh, don't go over there now because of the whole Trump shit." But I'm
Hmm.
not going. Well, if not now, then when? Is my
Man, let me tell you.
question.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you that. Let
Yeah.
me tell you something, brother. That I've learned from my experience. Because it's very interesting. Because everyone, like when I was over in France, was talking to me about the experience of being in America, and to me, it feels exactly the same. As growing up as a black person here in America, we never gave no fucks about the government. We've never had we've never had the feeling of the government being on our sides. So
Mm.
therefore, we live life regardless. I tell people all the time, man, people out here, black people walking around here looking at people like they crazy. Why they going crazy? We out here looking at them like they crazy, saying like, why y'all feeling? Because we
We were born
this
into this. We were born into this, honeys.
we exactly we feel fine. We
Yeah.
okay. We good. It's y'all
You're just
y'all the ones. you know.
all I'm hearing. All I'm hearing from this curry is shit. People, you just remember in your past life when you were black as well, basically.
Well, look. They got to know it though. They got to know it.
Mm.
They got to know it. So I watched some crazy stuff sometimes, and what happened in this crazy thing was that somebody gave me a said gave me a what if question, and they were like, what if being black coming into this place as a black person, right? This is just hypothetical. What if it was the the
WTF.
but I mean, but one of those things where it makes the mind start to shuffle and to move. Like we have these experiences where we come back as these people, right? Over and over again. These and we have this soul that kind of remains, but it's different but the same. And we'll get into all of that, as time goes on. But he was like, what if coming back as a black person was the bonus round?
You never think about it that way, do you? Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. You will never think about whether or not how we perceive these things, and these things that we think is a shame, or these things that we think are like, what if it is the bonus? What if it's the bonus is, man, I got to go to the end of this doggone game, right? I got to complete Jumanji as a black person. Boom. That's bonus right there. What if it brought so much like new understanding to myself, right? And so much clarity to myself that I kind of didn't kind of think of, and it really shattered these states of worthiness that manhood we kind of feel we have to climb these ladders of worthiness all the time. It just shook it. I was like, shoot, I come here automatically worthy. It was for me, it was very, very profound question, because I feel like I'm getting superpowers. And
Sounds
I'm
great.
sure, and I'm doggone sure that this has a lot to do with it. And of course you're getting yours too. So I'm not, I'm just saying, like, what if we have these responsibilities, right, towards these experiences that we're having right now, and we lived all the way through this moment. We got through all the little snares and traps and all the little parts of this game to get here, right? And then we get here, and we are these people. These are the ultimate forms. In this state, the ultimate form, your primal state was the person that you are here today. This is what you were supposed to ultimately get to.
Well, I'm just being
That's
reminded when you say
powerful.
that. Yeah. Past life, past life is also current life. So,
Is
um,
100%.
and future life. So you just going, well, yeah, I know I've already had past lives as Indigenous Australian as well, and that
Yes.
was that was uh,
Hmm.
colored intelligence, and
Hmm.
so, and I'm sure I've had lives as we were even talking about last time, as and even now with my own
Hmm.
soul, as you as well as Curry, and then me as Sam, but not as us, but in different vessels,
Yes.
um, in different ways, where you're a white girl or a white man having that same experience just at
Hmm.
the same time as I'm a black girl or a black man having that
Exactly.
same experience as
Exactly.
well. Yeah. Mm,
Exactly. Being able to see ourselves in each other. Being able
mm.
to understand the intersection and seeing ourselves in each other is such an important like thing. I think it's one of the greatest superpowers, right? When you're able to see super intersection, right, then you're able to move on behalf of. You're not, you're not able to move on behalf of if you're unable to see the crazy weird intersections that we're all going through, right? Like this experience. And what I love so much about it is that it's like it's become like a choose your own adventure. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you remember those mystery choose your own adventure books. Like that came up from the past. Like we walk around here and like what was Goosebumps back in the day when I was a child. And the Littles, that wasn't quite a choose your own adventure, but it was a fantasy world. There were these books that I when I was growing up that I used to read all the time, and they put on this understanding of where I can see myself in this mouse, or I can see myself in this character in this book. But these experiences are crazy. But we get to like choose it. We get to like choose it. It's like the bonus round. We get to choose our own adventure and just kind of run with it. Kind of thing.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's what I was even thinking about the other day. For could I incorporate that in a horror novel that I've been writing for years lately, and
Hmm.
incorporate some
Will, we're gonna give it to you,
of that
Will. We're gonna talk about it,
of
Will.
that yeah
I'm talking about the. Sorry, I
um,
wanted to acknowledge
comments.
somebody who's
Yeah,
in the comment. Go ahead.
yeah.
We'll get into it, Will. The
What did their
comment
comments
says
say?
racism. The comment says racism. What are your thoughts?
Well, not really, because what I was just saying, Terry, and
Hmm.
you responded perfectly to it, was there is no racism because we're all having the same different life as a soul, as what I know through my spiritual journeys already.
Hmm.
As as
Hmm.
what I just explained, is you're having as Curry a life as a black man, as a black man, but you're also
Hmm.
having a lifetime in a different vessel, which is still your soul,
Yes.
as a white man. So there's no
Yes.
real,
Yes.
and then of course there comes into the
Energetically speaking.
yeah,
Energetically
energetically,
speaking.
but also
Energetically
physically at the
speaking.
same
Yes.
time.
I
Your
agree.
soul is having the reflection of the lessons stepping forward that are
100%.
necessary for that skin color, I guess. And I guess to a degree, there is that necessary lesson of what is racism energetically to
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
It's different
100%.
to everyone, so I can't put a label on it. But
Give me
all I can
give me
put it
one
down to is a
second. 1 second.
reflection of
Someone's at the door. Give me 1 second. I'm
yeah.
so sorry. So
So,
sorry about
so
this.
that's all.
I'm on doing the podcast. But here I am. I'm back. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know, so because what I want to say is this right here.
Mm,
It 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 comes down to the laws of the land, right? you know, me and my friend, I have a friend who's here with me, staying with me like right now, and her name she came down and she's staying with us, staying with me a few days, and
Mm.
we were talking.
Is she also a singer, or
No,
is
she's not a
she
singer. She's
not a
not a
singer?
singer at all. She's not a singer at all. And we were talking about this understanding of blackness, right?
Mm.
And we were talking about this understanding of blackness from this point of our own lack of education about blackness, right? There's been such a lack of education about blackness that we as black people have, a miseducation that we have had, right? That in return colors how you know we view white people's lack of education about blackness. We've
Mm.
learned as black people, as black people, we have learned all of white people's triggers. We've learned white people's how to maneuver through the situation, which is why in so many respects I think what's happening with black people in public space, this Karen versus black people in public space, I think it's like it was inevitable. It
Mm.
was inevitable because
Well, it's
we
just yeah, it's immediately reflection and lesson all at once, butting
yes,
heads. Yeah,
yes, yes.
and of course the emotional message is not being heard properly, and then of course violence and intolerance
Hmm.
lessons step forward
Hmm.
because of
Now,
not listening. Yeah.
yes, but I don't think that means that racism does not exist, because racism
Oh
is
no, that's
real.
what I'm saying.
No, no,
With
oh, no, no,
everyone
no, no.
has
I'm just,
a
I'm just,
different
yes, I'm
lens.
just
Yeah, yeah,
speaking. I'm
yeah,
just, I'm just,
yeah.
I'm just speaking,
Mm,
speaking forward. I don't think that
mm,
doesn't mean that racism does not exist. I think that we need to get into a place where we start to view racism through the lens of our whimsy here.
mm,
This is where I've had to come to an experience to color of what this is as our whimsy, because even this race we had to, because when I look through these lenses, right, I'm the only person who gets to see through these eyes. As the person who only gets to see through these eyes, that means that everything outside of these eyes is God, is an expression of who God is. That means every person, place, or thing. So that means even the racism is God in the moment showing me something, right? God is showing me something here, even through this racism. So my whimsy tells me when I see it happening, what is it about me that attracts this kind of experience here to me? Now, this is not how I've always thought about racism. This is
no,
how I'm thinking about racism now.
mm.
Okay,
It
what
comes
is it
from an
about this
observed
experience?
lens. Yeah,
Exactly. Why
yeah,
am I
mm,
experiencing this? Why is this coming so close to home here when I have put myself in such a position where I do not and don't want to have to deal with this kind of energy? It's about how to transmute that. Those people who are being racist, the Karen out there, she's doing her job. She's doing her job as the person, place, the thing that is representative of God in the moment to show you either one or two things: who you are now. So if I holler back with this Karen, it's showing me who I am now, or who I used. If I look at her and I can see who I may have used to be, because all this shit is a mirror. When Karen comes to holler at you and fuss at you, and y'all holler back at each other, y'all two of the same people. Y'all doing the same motherfucking shit, right? But this lens of racism is so whimsical, man.
I love
It
that,
is
man. The
so
same motherfucking shit.
whimsical.
The
So
same
yeah,
motherfucking
the
shit.
same shit, man. This understanding of racism, man, is so whimsical and so topsy turvy. It's like Alice in Wonderland that it creates like this vortex to me. This is how I want to describe it in this moment today. It creates this vortex where what comes first, what comes last. So here it is, white people get to are saying this and black people are saying this. At some point, what's what's coming first, what isn't. What we do know is that this experience colors how I move through this world, how I shape through this world, how I walk through this world. And at this point in my life, I'm not really caring about this as much as I'm caring about the spirit, which is what I believe you were talking about in this spiritual place. There is no racism there. Light looks for
Exactly.
light.
Because
Light looks for light.
there's no need for it. Yeah, the whole reason why we're on Gaia, Earth, whatever you should call
Yes.
it,
Whatever you should
as
call
I've
her.
always been told from Spirit, is to as you know, it's a playground, it's a school, it's a reflection of everything. It's
Yes,
everything you need it to be,
it's
and it's a
everything you need it
movie,
to
it's a
be.
game, it's everything you need it to be. But
Mhm.
when we come to brass tacks, and when push comes to shove, Curry, each time, and everyone who's listening to this afterwards or right now, it's always there's always just remembrance of everything's a lesson
Yep,
and everything's a reflection. The
everything's a
minute you
relation
can
of
start
an
observing it
experience.
like that, is the minute you start moving forward in life. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's the
with your
minute you start
journey.
to
Yeah,
see it. It's the minute you start to
yeah.
see it, and because once you start to see it, and once you become aware, you get to move like in this ordered way. Your steps become ordered. You get to walk in this place where your steps are, or where you walk, and you're like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. I get this. Oh, blah, 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 blah. You get to say these crazy, amazing things where where it gets kind of like you get to like shake the table instantly. You
Mm.
get to just kind of shake it. And I have been put in that situation to speak to racism so many times, man. So I remember I was at a bar. I'll tell a story. I was at a bar, right? And I was with some friends, man. This was a gay bar. And me and some friends was there. We were sitting around with some friends from the School of Music. We were going to this bar, just after the School of Music. We were just out there, and we were sitting at at this table, man. And all of a sudden, this person walks up to the table, and he says this. He talks to the guy who's a Latino, but a Latino guy. He talks to him and he says, "Ooh," they start having this conversation. It was such a strange conversation because it happened right out in the open about sex. I like you. Do you want to have sex with me? It was like that verbatim. I like you. Do you want to have sex with me? Blah blah blah. How big is it? Blah blah blah. It was wild. It was wild. And then
Normally,
he
is at
looked.
gay clubs. Yeah.
Then he looked at me and said, I also do the colors too. He looked at me straight up and down. He put his glasses up and he said, I also do colors too. He tilted his head up and down and looked at me up and down. And I said, man, get on away from here. Because what we have to learn is that there's a language, there's a coded language, right? That happens
Mm.
when it comes to how to when we identifying this racist thing, right? There's this coded language. The
Oh, just to interrupt, man. I so wished you would have laughed at him. I
oh
so wish you would have just gone,
oh
ah, what a fucking
oh
idiot, sort of
yo
thing,
oh
at the
you
same
there's
time, and just had the same observation you're about to share at the same time, but just go,
exactly. So
ah,
I did.
what
I
a little
did.
shit, sort of
It
thing.
was it was it was literally the first time that I
You've got some
realized.
balls, you got a pair on you, don't you, little shit?
You hear me, man? Let me tell you. This is one of the first times I realized how much we can transmute the energy in the moment when it comes to anything, right? I sat there and I looked there. I said, "Go on away from." He said, "What?" He said, I just said I do the colors." And he looked because in that vein, apparently there must be somewhere where that language is okay. But with me, certain languages is just not okay, and it lets me know when I hear certain language that these are not the people I want to fuck with. These are not the people that I'm here to enjoy. These are not the light of people that I want to be in light with. I said, okay, man, you keep saying these words. I said, are you trying to trigger me, or do you think this is sexy? I said, because either way, man, this is not sexy. He said, what do you mean? I said, man, I suggest that right now you get away from here because what you're doing now is antagonizing. He just kept saying colors. It was so comical. Over and over again, I
Mm.
was like, so you're trying to antagonize us. I was like, look, man. So after I laughed and said this, I said, hey, I understand that you've been put in a position to think that you're wanted by everybody, right? Because you think that you're desirable in this way because of who you are innately as this white gay brother. But I want you to let you know here that you are no prize and no goal of mine.
I'd love to have been a fly on the wall at that point. You are
I said, you
no
are no goal of
prize.
mine. There is no goal on this world wall that looks at you and says, him, that white man, I want him. There's nothing out here. So when people tell you no the first time, man, when people tell you to
Mm,
move on the first time, move the fuck on.
mm.
And I said, so now you're trying to sit here and to one sit in my space and to ask me to accept your racist words and your racism. I suggest you leave.
And it's
And
interesting,
he
isn't
looked
it?
at me. He said,
Yeah.
"No." He said, "I said, get the fuck out of here." And
Mm.
eventually he got out of here. And when I tell you, it transmuted the entire energy, man. The
Oh, it
entire
would have.
energy of
It
this
would have.
space completely changed. Where people will come up to me, man, yeah, don't put up with that bullshit. He's like, man, I could have
Mm.
never been able to speak to something in authority that way. I was like, man, because I know who I am.
Mm.
I know who I
Well,
am.
it's
I know
obvious
where
from
I
what you
exist.
how you just recounted that story. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who I am. I'm not putting myself in a position here to for you're not going to sit to question who I am. It's either it's either we rocking with each other because we can speak this language together, or we can't. Get the fuck out of here if we can't speak this language. Because let me tell you, I'm gonna say something real that's controversial right now. Is that black people can be worse. Black people are some of the worst of it.
Mm.
So if I understand and understand, how blackness can be, and if I understand how whiteness can be, I see those intersections so clearly, so clearly. So when they happen, I can call those things as though they were, and I can speak to them, and I can rebuke them, and I can get them on about my way, and I can be as nice or as nasty as I want to be in the moment, depending on how the spirit moves. Because I move in petty. I'm moving petty. I think petty is one of those things where it doesn't muddy the waters as much, kind of thing. But
Mm.
you can dip your toe in in petty every now and again and be perfectly fine. So you get to it's like a choose your own adventure. I've said this. This is life. It's like a choose your own adventure, even in how you choose to deal with racism, how I choose to deal with homophobia, how I choose to deal with all of the things that in my life that were supposed to be shameful. This shit is whim. This shit is a whim. This shit is a game. It's like whimsy on top of whimsy on top of whimsy. It feels good to be in a space where I don't have to put my I don't have to question self when being
Mm.
confronted with other people.
And I think that's exactly where so many people fall short. I know I
It's like
do a lot, sometimes as well, because
I still
at
do.
the end of the day, we're feel even in Australia, we're not, as you know, and especially in
Hmm.
Melbourne, we're not surrounded by a black community as much as we would be in America, I guess, or even in Africa. When I was in
Yes.
South Africa,
Hmm.
the black community was definitely more of a majority than the white community,
Well,
and that was
that's just on the
fantastic because you
whole.
got to see this different community and
Yeah.
also be a part of it as an opera singer internationally, and see the camaraderie that just is non-existent, Curry, in
Hmm.
um, in Australian institutions of music,
Yeah.
or it's in any university level at
Hmm.
all. It's I'm nerdy, I'm white. It's all me, 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 me,
Hmm.
me. Um, for academia, and if you get in
Hmm.
my way, then I'm going to slap you and call you a fucking idiot, basically,
Hmm.
and
Well,
say,
let me tell
and
you.
there's no, and if there is any form of camaraderie, it's not true like it
Yep.
was in South Africa when I was there.
Yep.
Like
Well.
they were whistling, they were cheering their friends on. In if you had that sort of camaraderie, there would
Hmm.
be in Australia there would be conditional expectations. I can tell you
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
where
So
these 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 African students just looked like it was like unconditional love. And
yeah.
I'm like going,
Yeah.
holy
W-
freaking frick, holy! That was
Well,
just something really eye opening to me. Yeah.
that's the what's been so beautiful about in the United States, the HBCU experience, the historically black college experiences, or even I went to a PWI is what they call them, a predominantly white institution, and I went to LSU, and the great thing about about LSU is that there was a small but very active black community that met at certain places. I got to know so many black people and have a black experience at these places because let me tell you, man, this stuff is wild out here. The racism on the physical plane is insane.
Mm,
It's insane. It can be insane. It can be
mm.
insane. That remember we talked about that rage, that how he how we how to the statement to be black in America is to be in a rage at all times. You know what I'm saying? How I was able to just to find that in Don Jose.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
but just to quickly intercept there,
go
man.
ahead.
I kept hearing when you were saying the rage, and I just kept hearing from Spirit just then. But what's that rage teaching you? Yet again, what's that
Oh,
reflection in the
100%.
mirror teaching you? Yeah,
100%.
that
It's
just for the audience, his perspective
yes.
is just as much as us as
Yes.
well. Because I just heard that when you said that from in
100%.
clear audience, saying, "What's this rage teaching you that you might miss in the emotional distress that comes
In
up
hundred
so much?"
percent.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
That rate
where
was
it's really trying to give you a message that is
yes.
often overlooked because of the the high emotion
Exactly,
behind it.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
why I moved through Whimsy, man. Which is why
Mm.
Whimsy is such a beautiful, beautiful clarifier. It's such a beautiful shade to view things by. If I view this as topsy turvy, and I understand that I have this polarity here, and I have to sift through all of these things, even quite through in the moment to sift through them, right? And to in order to overcome that emotional stance, that thing that wants to fight, that thing that wants to get angry and shout, the thing that wants to cuss, the thing that wants to look just like what the movies say how black people look. Yes, it exists in me too. But we have to. But how do I make a choice in that? Right? How do I make a choice in the moment to to choose to be the best version of myself even when I'm being wholly and fully disrespected and disregarded as not just as a black man, yes, but as a human being, because that's where the intersection of it all happens. Is in this humanness, right? So my humanness decides to see that person's humanness, and I can laugh at it. And it was how I speak. I speak. I love to use my black speech. My ebonics and stuff. I use it all the time, and I use it strategically. Man, I can use it in a space either where I will say something extremely intentionally that where I know it's wrong, or just the fact that I speak like this, and when I'm around around black people. When I'm around black people, we have different ways of doing things than we were around in public. We got to a point where I have decided to to show up how I show up in community everywhere, just so this shit here does not won't get misconstrued, just so people can understand the energy of all of this. Just and not necessarily so people can, so I can be aware of my own atmosphere at all times. If I'm not being, then I'm not aware of the atmosphere that I bring. And that's the whole thing. We miss the idea that these lessons are for us and for nobody else. For nobody else at all. The racist
Oh,
antics.
saying that, Carrie, that's not true. I'm hearing
Go ahead.
because there is collective narratives in the lessons and reflections just as
Oh,
much. But
of course.
to reiterate what you just said,
Of
mostly
course.
it's for you because it's your
Yes.
journey. It's your journey
Yes.
yourself, and it's
I,
also
I
the
agree
others'
with you
journey yourself. Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
yeah,
I
yeah,
agree with you wholeheartedly.
yeah.
But I think those lessons that for other people that's a byproduct.
Mm.
I believe that it is a byproduct. I believe it's the greater. I think it's the more. I think that the selfishness of these lessons and how I need to, because once I start to put other people in the narrative of my lessons, then I have not learned the lesson, and then here I am going to repeat it over and over and over again. Why?
Then, I don't think it's. I don't think that's what Spirit's saying, though, Curry. I think when they bring forward collective, I think they're bringing forward learn it for self first, of course, and as you're saying, be selfish with the self learning,
100%.
but then at the same time still recognize that the collective is going through the same lessons just as
Oh,
much
of
as you,
course.
and
Of
even
course.
though that's why it's mirroring what you've learned.
But
Yeah.
that's not my
At the
concern
same
though.
time, then you can bring to the table what
That's
you've
not my
learned.
concern.
What
I d-
what others what others haven't learned, and what they're
yes,
trying to
yes,
decipher themselves. Yeah,
yes. I
yeah.
don't I don't agree with the idea of caring any bit about what these other people need from it.
Mm.
It is not my responsibility. My responsibility is to be. And
Mm.
outside of being, what you get from it is yours. And it's beautiful. That's wonderful. You go and you get this. Get it, get it, get it. I write poetry. And I write amazing poetry, man. I don't write my poetry with who it will benefit. It's either stream of consciousness, my art is stream of consciousness, or it is understanding at large. What you get from it is your business
Mm.
and your business alone. What I get from it is the only fruit that I can bank on. It's a blessing that other people get the opportunity to share. It's a blessing. It's a wonder. It's a magical gift. It's a gift that you get blessed by it. This is how I feel about singing as well, man. I have had to come to realization that that even though we say we're not doing this I'm doing this completely selfishly. Completely. This shit makes me feel good. When I get on stage and I get up there and I'm being of service to me is one of the most selfish things that I could do.
I love that. I'm gonna fly, and you motherfuckers can't pull me down.
Catch, catch it or not. Get it or not. That's
Exactly.
your
Yeah.
business. That's yours. That's your choice.
And I just wish more people thought like you did, Curry, because so many of us are going, "Oh, what are people going to think of me? What are people going to do this about me? What if I lose friends? What if I lose family members? What about if people think I'm crazy? What about people
Hmm.
if they
Well,
um,
they are,
say, "Oh, you're crazy, get out of my house."
and they
Like,
are.
well, yeah.
Baby, when Kyrie comes around, man,
When Curry
and
comes around
starts
here, but shut
and,
up.
and start talking crazy woohoo talking. She start talking about disappearing and reappearing. Start talking about sending energy blasts through his hands. When Kyrie starts talking about this crap, man, and stuff like that. People do think you're crazy. I'm sure. Look, my mama and my daddy think I'm crazy. In a respect, not saying that they don't support who I am, but they look at me like I'm crazy. If I concerned myself with how I appeared, man, then I'm holding on to the shame. I'm holding
Exactly.
on to the shame of it, and I cannot be that. I've learned that in order to be the magical being that I like to be, this person who speaks in poetry, prose, and poem, man, if I'm going to be him, man, I have to be the crazy has to come with it. So you're gonna hear me talk about, how me and my friend walked down the street, was riding down the street, and all of a sudden cars just started to appear out of nowhere. It's like a police chase. Out of nowhere, just poofed into our existence. You're gonna hear it. You're
Yeah,
gonna
well,
hear it.
that even reminds me of the other day when I was going for my walk down to the beach to do weights, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden it was like hardly anyone's out at at seven p.m. on most days, and
Speak on
there
it.
would be
Speak about it.
and then all of a sudden all these fucking runners just start coming back around, and then you're just surrounded by these motherfuckers who are just going running
Hmm.
into you or running around you, and sometimes even yelling at you, "Get the fuck out of the way, you fucking moron!" You go,
Isn't that? But that's the
"What
whimsy
the
of it,
fuck
man.
is
That's the whimsy of it,
happening?"
man. Let me tell you. When that kind of shit happens, man, that's the whimsy of it. I walk in that place and that shit happens. I'm like, oh my god, all of this stuff is happening because for me.
Mm,
It's happening for me to show up so I can recognize and see self in the moment always. It's happening for me.
mm.
My God, it was empty here, and God sent somebody here. God sent people, droves of people. Let me tell you, the story about it is that me and one of my best friends, we were riding to get to get a soda from what we call them in Louisiana, call them cold drinks. We want to get a cold
Mm.
drink from the store.
Yeah, no, we call them cold drinks in Australia too.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
well, because my favorite thing to do is to go to the store. Man, I go to the store all the time. And I'm talking about to go to like the
Be it
corner
rain and be
store,
it shine.
the hood store around the corner. I want to go to the hood store because the hood store got all the best candy. They got all the best cakes and snacks. They got all the stuff that you need at the hood store. And you might get you a fried turkey wing. You might get you you can get you all kinds of food. The hood store is it's like Baton Rouge. If you want gourmet food, you go to the hood store. Okay, so I go to the hood store a lot.
And does it have a black girl behind the counter going, "Oh, Corey, it's nice to see you again."
Possibly either a sister or here in Baton Rouge, the stores are owned by Middle
Oh,
Easterners
of course, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
by Asians.
Of course,
The
yeah. But
Asian the
same
stores
here, yeah.
the
A
stores
lot
in
of
the hood.
Asians
Let me tell you,
run
the
stores in
hood
Australia. Yeah,
the Asian people can cook soul food better than
yeah.
just as good. The Asian people that came down here, man, and learned how to cook these red beans and rice, okay, and learn how to cook this soul food, and they selling it, and they cooking good doggone soul food here. But I digress. I go to this. We were going to get a Coke from the fountain machine at one of the Circle K's here, and man, we were riding down the road, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a car appeared. And then outside of that, more cars, a police car popped into the field right around them. And then other police cars, it was like maybe 10 police cars just came into frame. Into frame. Literally just poofed into frame. And we sitting in the car because two police cars came on a side of us here. There is no way, my friend. Listen to this. There was no way for those police cars to be able to get through the right side of us without hitting us. No way. No way. Then the other cars, maybe like 7 or 8 of them, came on the other side. And they just surrounded this car, right? And into this yard. We go to the next block. We look behind it. It's like a blur. You couldn't see it. You couldn't see the police cars. You couldn't see the you couldn't see it was just like a big blur of lights. And we look at each other like this. Whoa, man, calm, because the whole time you're in it, I'm calm as hell. We're going through it because it's like being sung. It's like singing. Those moments when you have those moments and you see you can see like you say, when you can see the people, the spirits or the energy there. It's just the same thing. It's in the same vein of that. You're able to see what's happening in the moment, and you're just able to just react. And I think that is a goal of one of two things: of awareness, but also lack of response to awareness. That we get to experience the kinds of things that we get to experience.
And I'm also hearing it's partially putting yourself into a hypnagogic state right there as well, because you're
Yeah.
losing track of time, and you're going into a sort of daydream response, and so that's your subconscious mind clicking over, yeah, before
hmm
your conscious mind kicks back in,
Yeah.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
get to have these shared experiences, man. Like
Mm.
these experiences become shared. They become much more than just a figment of my imagination. Here it is. Me and multiple friends are having these very wild and amazing spiritual experiences that are of heightened awareness. Where here we are one place, and then boom, the energy transmute. Man, I was in a car with a friend of mine, and I was, we were talking and walking and talking, man, because I believe that this right here is what I'm talking about, is like the new frontier. I wholly, solely believe it, man, because this is what people are starting to reveal in their conversations. These kinds of poof things. I call it poof. I don't know what else to call it.
I do like
There's a
your terminology proof.
because literally, man, that's if you hear it, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like I have no other way to describe it but poof. It's one of those things where you're walking around here feeling bliss, right? And that bliss is the hypnosis. This is why I really wanted. We really gonna dive into a lot of hypnosis uh, soon, because this hypnosis is quite
It's everywhere, isn't it?
interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
So talk to me a little bit about it, about your experiences with hypnosis, man, and what made you start about that.
yeah, man. Well, it all started yet again, as like I was saying, with when we when we first started with it was me interacting with Sharon Tate's son, who's
Mm-hmm.
on a journey with me because he's on a spiritual journey with me because I was his mother in a past life, and
Mm-hmm.
he'd done the SIDS, and I committed suicide to
Mm-hmm.
be with him in that lifetime in spirit. Um, and then, of course, that's been validated by both spirit and other things
Mm-hmm.
along the way for
And
that
as well as in
lifetime.
the physical, right? As well as in the
Yeah,
physical
and
body. Yes.
he would have been if he
Yes.
was born and Sharon Tate was not murdered, her son Paul, and
Mm-hmm.
in that lifetime in the 1969, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was receiving those messages from both Sharon and him
Mm-hmm.
combined, and I went to see a hypnotherapist slash psychic um, in America, and she was from
Mm-hmm.
Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And dare I say, it sort of made it both better and worse all at once
I'm sure.
because she didn't know how to communicate well. Dare I say
I'm
it?
sure
Um,
she put that shit out, and the worst possible of all things popped
hmm.
out right along with it, because she didn't know how to usher
No,
in
no. Oh,
that conversation.
it was all um, Paul's interaction of what happened
Mm.
from a fetus point of view and from Sharon's point of view as well, with her
Mm-hmm.
stepping forward,
Yes. Yes.
as well in spirit, and then of course the other victims who were murdered afterwards stepped forward for some forgiveness, which was great because that was
Hmm.
really what was necessary for I think Paul more than anything, of
Yes. Yes.
seeing those who he did not meet but knew in spirit anyway, stepping
Hmm.
forward and giving me and them both the forgiveness that was he get your words out, Sam, that he
Hmm.
was looking for at the time,
Hmm.
and
So,
then that
do you mind if I
became
ask a
sort of
question for clarity? I want to
yeah,
ask a question for clarity, if you don't
mm,
mind. My question is, what was it about forgiveness for you that you needed?
definitely because it was during this time was during COVID, and I think
Mm.
a lot of things around the mother wound was stepping up because we was
Hmm.
secluded.
Isn't that
My
baby? Isn't
mother,
that beautiful?
my incarnated mother, also was being very unloving at the time, very conditionally loving. And even when I brought forward that I was hearing voices and not knowing what was going on at that stage, because this was my first steps into the spiritual development and the
Yes.
spiritual
Yes.
awakening and energetic awakening, as I call it now, it was it was frightening, man. It was
Yeah.
fucking frightening, and we don't know.
You
Just
preaching to the choir.
as you probably know, as white people, we're conditioned to think, oh, anything internal is bad. If you're hearing voices, it's bad. It's
Here too.
schizophrenia. Yeah,
Here too.
but I think, but dare I say it, looking more into your culture, at least there is that hoodoo voodoo part of things of religion saying
We are very much more superstitious as a
it's not
people.
all bad. You are hearing spirit, but at the same time, I think I think there's a lot of
I
indoctrination
understand. I understand what you're
around
saying.
religion in that when you're first stepping forward and going,
Hmm.
well, what the fuck is this? And then psychologists are
Hmm.
saying you're mentally ill, but then you're
Hmm.
hearing you're not, if you were in past life, but you're not in this lifetime. You're hearing
Hmm.
voices
Hmm.
in your head, and you're not knowing what the fuck's going on because it's
Yes.
so new and so foreign, and everyone around you's hearing and saying basically, if you don't go and seek medical help, we're going to put you on the street. You're going to be
Yes.
homeless. We're going
Yes.
to ostracize you
Hmm.
because we want to control everything because we don't understand it ourselves and it scares
Exactly.
us.
Of
And
course.
then, of course, then that steps forward with the observation and the lesson of, well, maybe looking back on it now, the lesson maybe should I have been more selfish with my awakening? Because at the end of the
Interesting.
day, I think I was so frightened and I was allowing so much fear
Just
from others'
vomiting shit out.
projections without even
Vomiting shit out.
needing it. Yeah, finding that shit out.
Hmm.
Um, that yeah, as I say this, I'm being shown a vision of Jesus Christ sort of walking away from his mother, going, "Talk to the hand, mum," sort of thing. As I say this sort of thing, like going, "I don't need your projection, mum. I love you, but I don't need your shit." Basically, yeah,
Yeah. He walked.
yeah. You
He
can
walked
keep
away
that
early.
reflection to yourself. It's not mine. That's yours.
Yeah.
It's your reflection, and that's your
Hmm.
projection.
Yes.
And it's true, and that is exactly what how I saw it. But I was so scared within myself, I couldn't see that at the time, and I was yet again,
Hmm.
as I reiterate now, I wasn't listening to the emotional messages that were stepping forward until later, and actually not until the psychologist who I went to said, "Fuck your boundaries," basically energetically. She didn't say that out loud,
Well,
but basically the energy said
100%.
basically said basically said, "I want to control you. Fuck your boundaries. Fuck your convictions. Fuck your
Mm,
communications. I want to just basically be a glorified professional drug dealer for you and pump you full of drugs,
mhm,
make you
mhm.
even more fearful so I can control you even more. And then fuck everything." And then it basically she sort of then sort of tried to make it downplay it by saying, "Oh, we can pump you full of drugs and then we can talk about your new boundaries," which then she probably would have then added on, which I will then add controlling narratives on
Well,
to control you even more with, so that
well,
you don't understand what actual boundaries actually fucking are. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah.
these things that people will call, will call our issues or our problems. I have learned to lean into it, and which is what you
Mm.
had to do. You had to say, "Hey, I'm going to lean in." What does leaning into the crazy look like for you? What does that look like? What did it look like?
Well, yeah, I've never asked myself that question either. But at the same time, I guess leaning into the crazy just means, yeah, as you even just said in the first part of the session today, of um, becoming positively selfish instead of that negative stereotype that we put on
Hmm.
selfishness.
Yeah,
And I've
yeah.
even had to say this to clients in the past as well, Curry, who've stepped forward to me and going, and Spirit basically has just said, delivered the message that I had to then decipher in mediumship sessions, saying,
Hmm.
dare I say, you've got to be selfish. You've got to be more
Yep.
selfish, and you've got to change your lens on that, on what you perceive and your limiting beliefs on what
Hmm.
selfishness means. And that's what I've been having to
Hmm.
do all this time, just as much. And that, yet again, that client was a reflection of my own limiting beliefs and carry as well, that I was seeing at the
Hmm.
time, like going,
Hmm.
right, yeah, this is
Hmm.
exactly my reflection. And I'm trying not to project anything onto you, but from what Spirit is saying, it's similar, because
It is.
you're becoming
It
too much
is.
of a people pleaser.
It is.
You need to find selfishness in positivity, and you need to
Mm-hmm.
change the lens of what
100%.
selfish means. Of, you're fucking being selfish. Think of someone fucking else before you fucking go
Yep.
down that
100%.
road, sort of narrative, because that's how we're. And then at the same time, what I just brought forward, then that's incredible emotional uh, cries for help and projection at the
It's
same time.
trauma. It's
At the
trauma.
same
It's leaning
time,
into your trauma. Yep.
yeah, it's leaning into, and it's also leaning into their trauma, which you don't need to fucking take on board.
That's what
And
that's and that's the most important part of it.
what we're
Recognize.
indoctrinated through religion and through psychology and through everything else of, oh no, if someone's hurting, you need to take their shit on board. Oh no,
Mm-hmm.
if a family member's hurting, you need to take their projection on board. Oh no, if a friend is hurting, you need to reach out to them and
Mm-hmm.
get your adrenal glands all pruned to make them fucking feel better before you can
Mm-hmm.
attend to yourself. But
100%.
no, fuck that. It's like the fucking airplane's message said, help your fucking self before you
Yourself.
help someone fucking else. Yeah, yeah. Don't go
Yep.
down with the
Yep.
ship.
Helping
Yeah.
helping yourself, helping yourself, helping others
Mm,
becomes innate when you're
mm,
when you're selfish, right? The
mm,
more selfish I became, the more I have been able to help others. And the funny thing is about this is that what I have learned is that selfishness has also taught me how to ask for help. That's what it's teaching me now. Selfishness has taught me how, it's teaching me how and when to ask for help. Because initially I would suffer in silence. And we're not supposed to be around here suffering in silence either. Do you know what I'm saying? The selfishness on the other on the selfishness through the other lens brings you to a place of silencing self. Selfishness on from the lens of how I like to describe it of whimsy or understanding of the awareness of it leads you to be able to pinpoint when, where, how to ask for what you need.
Mm.
This is the very lesson that I'm learning, and it is scarier than the other side of it. I thought the other side of it was scary. And in the moment it was, but this is way more scary. Just when you go places and somebody say, "Hey, you have money for me. You have this. To literally speak into existence those things, to be that selfish in the mind in order to get to a point of being able to say what you need as though you're going to get it and get it. That's
Exactly.
wild. Wild.
Of course it is. Because it's probably the harshest. It's probably the harshest reflection anybody has to cope with, or anyone has to
Mm-hmm.
observe in their experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting how even in past lives that I've seen of people and of myself, we're so ostracized in that manner. And
Mm-hmm.
this is probably usually the first thing that comes up. And so many people don't know how to address it. Of going, but I'm like going, fuck, it just means you need to grab life by the fucking balls. and
Think
actually
about
and actually be a bit more positive, find a bit more
100%.
positivity in the selfishness.
Yes,
But
but
yet again, I
100%.
reiterate the 18, like from 18th century backwards, we were told even more so of, oh no, family comes first, you come second,
Mm-hmm.
always.
Well,
And it's just,
think about the
yeah,
enlightenment of it all. Think about like the
mm,
enlightenment area, this understanding of individualism, right? This humanism, stance of life, of being able to, for the first time in our lives, say, hey, self is important. Self is important here, right? That was, I always say that we're still in the Renaissance. We're getting ready to, at this point, we're tipping out into a new era. But I say that we always is still in the Renaissance because we're having these pockets of renaissances happening. For Black people in America, this Renaissance did not happen until we started getting that Harlem Renaissance in the 1920s and 30s. That was when this huge awakening for Black people started to happen. Different people, different cultures around the world are having these things, these moments where self-reflection and selfishness becomes a need. It becomes a point of focus. And I have been on this journey to be able to be well, so quiet enough, one, and so well intended that that I'm asking for what I need and asking for what the person is already about to offer. Does that make sense?
yeah, man, sure does. But rewinding a bit, because you did ask the question of, um,
Oh yes, we are.
where did
Please,
this
please.
hypnosis sort of start
Yes.
to want to come in? Well, after I'd done that hypnotherapy, um, yeah, the hypnotist became a bit weird. They told me I had a earthbound spirit within me, which was complete and utter trash. It was just I was imbalanced. I was
Mm.
trying to find my way through life, and
Uh-huh.
yes, there could have been an earthbound stuck in me, but there was more happening than that.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was just imbalanced energy stepping forward. And they, what really got under my goat was she said, "You're not a medium; it's all mental health issues."
Uh-huh.
And then,
Uh-huh.
yeah, am I going? All right. and then that really affected me.
Yeah.
Like
For how
going,
long?
early, well, for a month or so, and then of course
Okay.
my friend
That's cool.
Jordan committed suicide, and then
Mm-hmm.
she's the first sort of spirit who then came forward with my automatic writing, which is,
Mm-hmm.
do you know much about that? About the
No, no.
journaling with automatic writing in spirit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk,
So
talk. Say,
basically,
say something about it. I've read. Say something about it. Go ahead.
yeah, well, basically, you sit down, and it's just like journaling, basically journaling your thoughts, but you usually do it in a third person mode, and
Mm-hmm.
then you start to feel. Um, you call out to the passed away loved one or the spirit guide who you want to work with, and then
Mm-hmm.
you start to feel you start writing in the third person to them and asking them for the intention, or you can set the intention before you go into it, or you can
Mm-hmm.
sort of even write down the intention in the very
Mm-hmm.
first sentence at the same time. It makes all the
Yeah.
difference. And of course, then yeah, going, am I a medium, for
Mm-hmm.
example,
Mm-hmm.
and then talking with Jordan of going, and the first thing, and then I feel my arm and hand start to shake and tingle a bit like that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
more
The
with
channeling.
clarity. Yeah, yeah, the clarity, and you could sort of feel a bit of a takeover, like a sort of
Mm-hmm.
as no, I won't call it a zap. It's more like a sort of gentle, gentle. Uh,
It's being
what's the
sung.
word?
It's the same. It's like freestyle.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's like
feeling almost like
jazz.
your hands about to sort of raise itself in a
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's like
that's
it's
of
like
course
vomit.
that of course is yeah that of course is the spirit stepping forward for your
Yes.
hand
Mm-hmm.
to bring forward the message. and
Yes.
and um and sometimes it's really subtle, other times it's really fucking, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck, my
Yeah.
hands doesn't feel like my hand, or
Mm-hmm.
my arm doesn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like my
Mm-hmm.
arm. And
It
that's when it
just
really go,
takes
holy
over
fuck,
you.
spirit's taking over. But just like,
Mhm.
calm down, fucking breathe, you're fine,
Yeah.
breathe through the nose, out through the mouth, exhale, and you're going to be fine because you've called that in anyway to guide you. And you should have,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you should have, if you're doing this sort of stuff, you should have already put forward a bit of protection around you
Of course.
anyway.
Of course.
To, to,
You
to
better.
yeah, you better,
You better.
or else you're inviting fucking anything in.
Yeah.
Especially if you're an open medium like myself,
Mm-hmm.
which basically Jordan basically said, why did you believe this bitch? Basically, why did you
Mm-hmm.
believe her when she's basically projecting an observation of her own
Mm-hmm.
inadequacy and
Yes.
her own torment that people have put onto her in the past, and she's merely just putting that onto you because she doesn't want to see you go down that road in a loving way, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, she's accidentally projecting that lesson in a really derogatory
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. So, okay, so
yeah,
that's really interesting that you brought that up because I was getting ready to say how
yeah.
much of it do you think was well-meaning? Because this is where because this is where the shame of it all
Mm,
generally likes to exist. It literally likes to exist in the well-meaning words.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you continue because I still want to know more about this thing.
Yeah, yeah. But you go ahead.
But
Yeah.
I remember talking this thing of when I was growing up, me and my mom are on this journey of discovery as well. We're on this journey because
I
these
think
people.
just to go into it quickly, man. I think most sons, daughters, and mothers are just all
Yes,
fathers are
yes,
if the father's in the picture too.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
100%, 100%. We're on
Mm,
this huge journey here, and growing up, I have a hard time getting my mom to understand how much her words affect at times, and how much her mood affects, and how much these things affect this person who has this love and this admiration for his mother and this tether that would normally bind us in this state where I had to let it go. I had to let it go. But I had to but my mom grew up, with these sayings that she was thinking it was very well meant. So I would be playing something on the piano. You can't play the piano. You can't do that. And to me, not as a 7 year old, I would internalize that into something that was so um different from what the energy is that she may have been saying it. You know what I'm saying? And for her, it may have been, oh, or this and this and that. But for me, this one was telling me that I couldn't do anything. And for a while, I grappled with this understanding of can I do? Can I do? That was one of those things of messaging where people think that they're doing well-meaning things. But if you do not know the person that you're speaking to, then you're speaking your life or death is in the tongue. Then you're speaking something into their existence that does not exist within them. And I believe that that's where the mental health problems come. Is when people in these positions they speak these well-meaning thoughts that are not about the person. They're literally, like you say, about themselves. And what happens is it puts these people in a state of frenzy because delusional is where you want to be, and I stand by that. Delusion is where I want to be. I want to be in this delusion here. I have to be in it. It's important to be in it. I deserve to be in this delusion because in this delusion, shit does radiate from my hands. I can make the trees come to me. I can push paper away with my energy blast. I can in my delusion. But if my delusion is being mischaracterized and mistreated, and if I don't see my delusion through a place of whimsy, through a shade, through the love that I have to offer, then here I am stuck on the cycle that other people have put on me, and that's such an important lesson such an important lesson for me. It freed me from so many stigmas, if that makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So yeah, basically, Jordan said, "Come on, Sam. You know, you're a medium. You talk to me right now. This isn't mental health. This isn't schizophrenia. This isn't bipolar. This isn't multiple personality disorder. This is working through your awakened pineal gland, third eye, everything, all your organs, all your chakras, and which we'll go into later, of course, because that's a
Yes.
stories within itself for the audience.
Hundred
Um,
percent.
and yeah, and that just gave me such an influx of self improved clarity that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the person who I knew in life who ended her life violently is stepping forward and lovingly giving me this
Yes.
message.
How fast
And
did you
that was the
find
first
peace?
time, pretty much straight away, I feel.
Instantly, right?
There might have been like days of as we all have, of
Yes.
oh
Yes.
fuck, I can't do this, fuck, I'm not a medium,
Mm-hmm.
fuck is feels so fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, when there's the validation through the self learning, most of
Mm-hmm.
all, as we bring it forward today, and
Yes.
then through the validation through clients, then it's even more impactful because then you're seeing the reflection of what you've already done, helping others um, in that same light, but also then helping yourself to remind
Yep.
yourself,
Yep.
look what you can fucking give back,
Yep.
what you've already fucking learned. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But also
It's beautiful, man.
retaining that energy to say, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um, I've got this. But yeah, that's sort of it didn't put me off then hypnosis because I recognized how powerful it was at the same time. But it
That's
also just
beautiful.
gave me the lesson from both of that because after that I did the went to the psychiatrist to just check out if I did have mental health, and then of course each of those lessons was similar curry, even though I was struggling to figure out what the lesson was at the time and what the
Mm.
reflection was at the time. But now I've done the introspective discovery through hypnosis and through mediumship
Mm-hmm.
discovery as well, and through journaling
Mm-hmm.
my emotions and everything.
I'm
Um,
so grateful that you
is
didn't give up on self.
yeah, it was and continues to be through other means of
Mm-hmm.
who've stepped forward as well and who've disrespected the fuck out of me, just like
Mm-hmm.
these people as well. Um, is and I keep hearing at the same time it's all with undercurrents of well-meaning,
Well-meaning,
fear-based, but it's also fear-based love. Is what
conditional
spiritual thought, and I
love,
think
conditional love.
when they say fear-based love, that immediately when you're coming from a selfish point of view, it then
Hmm.
brings forward okay, they love me, but at the same time they're fearing the fuck for me at the same time,
Yeah.
and that's why they're projecting so much
Hmm.
bullshit towards me,
Hmm.
and that's why I'm just having to push through that bullshit. And as I just reiterated with that vision of Jesus and Mary, just then his mother of going, "Mum, talk to the hand because the face ain't listening." Yeah, cut the cord. Yeah,
Cut that
yeah,
cord,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Cutting that
yeah.
cord. Cutting that cord. You know,
It's just it's that. It's basically I'm hearing it's that fucking simple. It's that
it is.
simple.
It
Basically,
is.
talk to the
It
hand because
is.
the face ain't listening. Yeah,
It
and we
is.
got to just treat it as such. And I think after that, I sort of had a bit of hiatus, and I learned Reiki, and I learned
Yes.
more about
You went to go get
psychic
the
mediumship, and
education.
upgraded myself. And then recently, of course, then I've reclaimed myself with the multi practitioner program to get into this um, position of hypnotherapy, which is really
Yeah.
sort of then becoming my
Yeah.
niche because I can then incorporate all the energy healing, all the
Hmm.
things I know about psychic mediumship, and everything under the table
Even singing.
with hypnosis. And then it's just like this extra layer of, or even deep, as I like to say, even deeper layer with the
Hmm.
subconscious mind involved
Hmm.
and everything that involves. Um, and the responsibility that involves as well, because you can really
Hmm.
fuck someone up if you're not careful
Yeah, you really
um,
can.
with your ethics around it, and just with how you and of course that practitioner who we will not name, she'll remain nameless.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that the lesson, as I bring forward again for everything that has stepped forward for me out of all of this, was I need to learn how to communicate more effectively for myself
Mm.
first
Mm.
and then for others afterwards, because then
Yes.
in those sessions or in any environment in the
Hmm.
upcoming future,
Yes.
I can then be more productive and more
Yeah.
give more information and have the person in front of me and myself in the mirror aspect
Hmm.
of them
How hard was that
step
to do?
forward. Yeah,
To change that communication style? How hard was that?
not hard at all, because that was the biggest lesson. That's what I'm bringing
Yeah.
forward. The
So
biggest
so
lesson was
it was a 180.
I needed to remember that where they faltered and projected and failed. Well, not really failed, but
Mm.
what they taught me was I needed to find the communication that worked for myself and worked for others, and also
Mm.
find the boundaries and communication that was
Hmm.
more effective that they had not delivered for me. And
Yeah.
that's why my path had gone so skewed, because
Hmm.
and felt disrespected, because there was no boundaries for them and there was no
Yeah.
boundaries for me, and there was no,
Yeah.
and the lack of communication that they presented was of course coming from their own understanding
Yeah.
and their own lack of learning that for themselves. But that was the biggest lesson from it all, of
Yes.
going,
Yes. But
I need to
because
have better communication than these
yes. Yes.
people
Yes.
stepping forward
Yes.
to really bring home the what do I even call it, to even bring home what I need, and what someone else needs from the
To bring your knowing.
from what another could not deliver. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because I had so for me the moment the clarity happened so quick, right? The knowing to take the 180, right? But to me the fear of speaking and standing up for self was very very hard. It was like I had to, you
You
know
become very aggressive, don't you, in the very beginning of it all? Yeah, yeah.
man.
I found that very much so. Yeah.
You because you go from
You sort of thing.
exactly. You go from this person who has been considered most of my life this meek and mild person, mild mannered person, and I am, to this warrior. Get the fuck out! one day we have to talk about Fight Club because I went through Fight Club, man. This thing brought brought out Fight Club. Let me tell you, Fight Club is real, man. It's real. One day we're gonna talk. We have to talk about Fight Club because this
I thought we don't talk about Fight Club.
we got to talk about it because we need to talk. I'm
We're
going to
going to
talk
talk
about
about
it
that.
in some kind of way because literally Fight Club is real. It was like I went through this period where like I just was fighting people.
Mm.
It was
With
like this.
words or with
No,
fisticuffs too?
sometimes physically too.
Wow.
It would be like Fight Club. Like these two people would come together to to fight, and it would exist in this bubble where nothing would come. You know how when you go to the video game and you start to play
Mm.
the fight game, and they might have people on on the sidelines looking, and then they may have and stuff like that, but they're like cheering you on. It's like it sets the scene. Fight Club sets the scene, and it's like this bubble that happens, and then once you do that, you go about your business. Like it was it's wild because you have in these here you are in these energetic moments, and literally both of you, you and the person realize the what's happening here. You realize it because you realize it in the moment. This is like your body's on rote, just doing what it does, and you can't do anything to get out of it. You can't. It's a one day off camera. We're gonna talk about. We'll talk about Fight
Mm.
Club a little bit. Because I went through from some years in my 20s and early 30s, of this Fight Club of like being in these situations to fight it out, and not always physically, but sometimes.
Mm.
Sometimes,
Well,
and
that yeah.
I look back on it fondly now.
Yeah, you can laugh on it now, can't you? It's like with anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
but while I was at it, it was powerful. I'm gonna be very honest with you. It was powerful. It was it was it was one of the most adrenaline rich things to go through. The energy, like getting punched in the face, can feel good as fuck.
Yeah.
Punching somebody in the face can feel even better.
Well, I even remember punching someone in the face who was choking me at my when I was doing security one night,
Mm-hmm.
and that was something special because it was
Ooh.
just like I yelled at him because he wouldn't let go. He was drunk as a skunk,
Mm-hmm.
and you know me, Curry. I'm very passive usually with
Yes.
with not creating a fist. But no,
Yes.
this was just like sort of instinct. It was like sort of viper strike right in between his right in his third eye. So I think back on it
Man.
now, my day, I was waking that motherfucker up because the minute he hit his backside on the ground, he got up like there's no fucking tomorrow, Curry, because he's like, and he was like a fucking jackrabbit. I tell you right now. And then when I
Decalcify.
turned, yeah, when I turned, his friend grabbed me by the shirt, and when I went to sort of knock him in the
Hmm.
undercarriage, whatever you call it, the underjaw,
Yeah.
um, he did a Clark Kent on me because I had a black shirt on. So he
Uh-huh.
basically, when I whacked him into that region there with
Uh-huh.
a hard smack, he went flying back. But as he did so, he went da 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 to my head on my chest,
Fight Club.
popped out of
Fight
my
Club.
chest.
Fight
Yeah. So
Club.
basically,
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? That was Fight
And then
Club.
then
Think
he got
about it.
up just as quickly, and his little friend who I just punched in the third eye was cowering behind him. And then all of a sudden, these three cop cars come, and these six coppers just rush out, and the fucking the owner is out there, and these boys are rolling up their fucking sleeves, going, "Come on, motherfucker! Come on,
Hmm.
motherfucker!" And I'm like, "Dude, it's over. You can see that these
That's
uniforms are
how
here.
fight.
What the fuck are
That's
you doing?" So just
so
shut
you went
their
through Fight
head.
Club. You went through
Yeah.
a version of Fight Club. That shit is real, man. It's because like you put in these like really uncomfortable moments, right? Where you
Mhm.
have to choose whether or not you're going to fight or no. That's how, and I've discovered that that's how deep it was for you to be able to feel things, to be able to feel, because you know how we're in this feelings world, right? If you have never
Mm.
been had to feel the anger and had to been able to feel that thing that you needed, think about how much different your channeling would be, were you not able to have felt that kind of anger.
And what about our performance and our singing as well? That create you think back in that moment and go, where was that adrenaline? Where how can I harness that again? Just through
Exactly.
adrenaline, through
Exactly.
the maybe even for the last note of Nessun Dorma, finding that
Boom,
adrenaline
boom.
to push
100%.
through the Vincero, get up
Vinciano, Vinciano! Why would he say Vinciano? Why? That's you. It comes from these experiences, right? So we
Mm.
going through these experiences. We're going to go through these experiences anyway, man. We're going to go through them anyway. It does not matter, man. The crazy shit is gonna happen. Like I have like, oh, for the past since February of this year. It's wild. I have been in more car accidents since February of this year than you can even imagine. To where I had to say to myself, God must be telling me not to buy another car.
But at the same time,
What?
Kirk, what's the lesson? What's the lesson you brought out of it all?
Well, the lesson is to sit still. It has
Exactly.
been it has been to sit your ass down. You are moving too much, man. You're doing too
Mm.
much. You're moving too fast. You're staying at places where you're not welcomed and it's putting you back. You're doing things that you're not supposed to do and it's putting you back. This is a testament to why I know this is happening here. The fact that this is actually happening, let me tell you, my life has been put on because I'm so aware of these things. My life has been put on this thing where I ain't gonna do shit that I ain't supposed to do. I ain't doing nothing that I'm not supposed to do. This how serendipitous this is, because I've learned in those moments, in those places, man, that when as long as I do something that I do not want to do, that I'm not supposed to do, the shit is going to go and crumble every time. Every time. And this car test is showing me, like, you keep getting yourself in these cars, getting these cars, thinking that, what if where you're going, you're not supposed to have a car? What if? Why are you continuing to see the car? So I've been sitting my ass down and putting my and watching myself um in this manner where I've been able to just kind of be allowed to see how much I am taken care of here.
And talk before we move on to another topic. I want to really share something that I'm
Please.
always being reminded of whenever I'm in a car and I'm having road rage or
Hmm.
someone cuts me off or someone which is being an idiot and doesn't indicate.
Hmm.
Um, and I think this might be interesting for the audience as well. Is there are so many open portals on the roads, Curry, that
Boop,
we're unaware of energetically. And what
boop.
we just get in the car, turn on the ignition, and we drive. And of course,
Yep.
then we're going through the portals of rage of where someone else is going, fuck you, you idiot,
Hmm.
fuck you, you bitch,
Hmm.
F you, you
Hmm.
CUNT, and everything like that. And then, of course, we just reiterate what those portals
Yep.
are said and done in the past.
Yep.
And I'm always being reminded when I have road rage, I keep hearing in the back of my head, "It's all right, Sam. You've just gone through a portal.
Yep. Yep.
It's just
I.
breathe, and
Hmm.
calm down. You've just gone through a portal, and it's not your fault. You've just gone through a
Yep.
past life, not past life, a past experience of
Yep.
someone
Yep.
else, and it's their
Yep.
projection, not yours. Even though the same reflection has come up from what they experienced at the same time, and
Hmm.
it's had the same lesson for you, the same time in the same moment.
Yep.
It's it's someone else's projection, and
Yep.
get rid of it when you get home. Basically, yeah.
Yep. See, I have I've been one of those people. I used to watch. I would be in the car with people a lot who had road rage, and it really stopped me from any road rage. This was years ago
Mm.
because I don't deal with road. I don't have
But it's not.
road.
Now you heard that of why it occurs.
Oh,
Isn't
of
it
course,
interesting how it's actually not them?
it's
It's
100%.
someone else's projection in
It's
that
projection.
energetic portal. Yeah, yeah,
One hundred
yeah.
percent, 100%. I completely agree with you. Completely agree
Mm,
with you. It's one of those things where I would tell people in road rage. I said, you're gonna do the same thing to somebody else like in the next 5 minutes, right? So
mm,
so like these are moments to show yourself grace, right? I think those moments are always moments to be able to be grateful and to show yourself more grace, right? And because look what could possibly happen. Every last one of these, this is what I want to say. Boop, 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 I got it back. This is what I wanted to say. That every one of those car accidents I've been in, man, I have been sitting still at a red light. Every last one of them. It is
and I hear just to add a bit more to that before you move on.
yes.
I hear that there's a both a reason for that and also a portal within itself happening at those
Oh,
red lights. It's happened
oh,
before. It will happen again.
it's
It's
gonna happen again.
serendipitous.
It's a
And also it's
serendipitous
just
thing.
teaching not just you, but it's yet again I bring forward it's a collective
A collective
lesson.
thing.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yep,
You
yep.
can think of
And
it just as much as yourself as a self lesson, but when you really think about it, no, it's collective.
100%.
Especially out on the fucking road, because that's a
100%.
collective
100%.
open portal environment to a big degree. Yeah.
Those watching, those people who are watching it are getting the lesson. Those people who are and this last one was so action here. It's like a it's like the like out of a storybook. Like so I was at the red light, just sitting, and I'm at a red light. I'm listening to music. I got music playing in the background. I might just be sitting there, and all of a sudden I'm sitting at the light here, going straight. Two cars are coming this way. These two cars run into each other trying to make this car is trying to make a left turn. This car is trying to make a right turn. They hit, and then the car that right there was on this side hit me at the red light. I saw it. It was in slow motion. I saw it happen. It was like I was in part of an action film. You know those people who are like almost collateral damage in the movie with superheroes. It was like almost like that.
Mm,
And then all of a sudden, the person who hit or that came was coming on this side of the road that had their head on collision. They ran off. They hit and run. So and then the police started chasing them because they were connected to something else. It was like an action, something out of an action. And the police come over there and tell them, "Oh, we got them." Yeah, they went, they was doing this, and they was just telling us the fantastical story of what happened here. And I was saying to myself, look at here. If he might not have been caught, had not he been into this car accident, he may not have been caught. I am shooketh.
but I'm
to
hearing at
the
the same time, Gary, that there would have been timelines where he would not have been caught, just as much as the timeline that you saw. Yeah,
Yep,
that would have
yep.
been that would have been like the secondary portal that closed, and we're
That
okay. We
closed.
don't need to see that. Yeah, yeah, but it's still open for others in the collective to say, oh yeah, well next time he's going to get away. Next
Yep,
time that would be the lesson. Yeah, yeah.
yep. It's
Mm.
it's a it's like imagination. And it's like it's wild imagination, wild imagination. I'm um I'm 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 of in such awe of like how this world works, even down to the to the to the numbers that we get to see. these
Exactly.
how
777,
eight
11,
eight eight
11.
three 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 444 11
Yeah.
11. Like even down to those those serendipitous things, right? Oh, when you were going through the that fear portion of being able to of not being, did you see more numbers and more things pattern in nature during that time?
I see them all the time, really, but
Of course.
not really then, because I think I was so absorbed with the fear and projection that I was
Mm-hmm.
too concerned with the bubbling blackness
Mm-hmm.
and the bubbling fuck, everything's going wrong in
Mm-hmm.
my life. Fuck, I want to commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I want to do this and that to myself just to escape this narrative without without even recognizing the emotional message stepping forward of going,
Mm-hmm.
no, you need to just love yourself and you need to care for yourself and you need to remember yourself because you're taking on board others' bullshit
Mm-hmm.
and projection, basically. Yeah. But no, I see the only real time I see more of them is when my frequency is higher. So I guess when you reached out to me that day, um, a few weeks back, I was definitely seeing more 1111s. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and 888's a big ones for me. Yeah, and three
Mm-hmm.
three three. Yeah.
Yes. That 333 is something.
Mm,
Because I feel like the 333 comes it's like it's like you better not miss me
exactly. Well, it's
kind of energy.
communication. That's why.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
like that. It's like that. I've been showing you this shit. You better not miss me. You hear me?
Mm.
That's what that 333 comes. It's like a I don't know if it's a third dimension reference or a of what it is. Oh,
No,
it's
I'm hearing it's just more. It's just more communication,
more
and
communication.
as you
Yeah.
just said yourself, it's more fucking take notice
It's an
because we're
urgent.
not
It's
going
an
to fucking show it
urgency.
to you again.
Yeah, it comes. If you see that 333, you like you better start paying attention. You hear me? 333. It's wild because I also have learned to be able to use it to be able to use these numbers as a navigation system. So for a and I mean this, and I'm talking about it as a navigation system for my astral travel. So like
Mm.
when I'm in this place and I want and sometimes you feel you get that stuck feeling when you're trying to move, like sometimes it just doesn't happen as sometimes I don't know, but what I've learned is I used to see these numbers in order: 2 3 2 4 3 2 4 3. So I was, you see, twos, and I don't even see two twos anymore.
I think they're
And then
quite rare.
yeah, and then I see four, and then I see three, and then I see four, and then I see three. Something told me that these were they can be used as coordinates. I see them in that order. I would actually whisper through 2 4 3 2 4 3, and it would actually help me propel myself in that state. I was able to propel myself forward more. It was like a code for something, a propulsion system, like a jet propulsion system. Um, I don't understand how I discovered it, but the download was clear. It was 100% clear that when I got to that state, and when I got to the place where I was searching for the ability to turn left or right, to speak the numbers that I was seeing, and it would act as though as that hum. You know how when you sometimes when you meditate you want to hum and you want that frequency. It would act as though, and then I would literally move. It's like I was like all of a sudden I'm speaking Slytherin.
Love it. Parcel tongue.
Exactly.
Mm.
That's what I meant to say. Say part because Slytherin is a different language. That parcel tongue.
Mm.
It's like just feeling fine and that finding that frequency, man. And I was able to propel myself faster, like bursts. Like it was like it's like how how do you describe? Okay, so how Star Trek Enterprise would go into to light speed. It was like
Hmm.
that.
Or the Millennium Falcon in Star Wars going into hyperspeed. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hyperspeed.
yeah.
That's what it did. That's what it did for me. Man, I'm so intrigued by this hypnosis. I'm
Yeah,
so
man.
intrigued.
We need to meet up and delve into your spiritual house. I think,
Yeah.
especially even look into a bit of some trauma if you're up for that as well, because it's definitely that's what it's designed for originally,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
really delve
Yeah.
into the subconscious
Mhm.
things that you're not even thinking about in your unconscious or
Mhm.
your conscious
Mhm.
mind. You might have
Yeah.
thought about them in like sort of surface level hypnosis
Yeah.
of the daydreaming states that you go into, but then you
Yeah.
sort of forget about them like that. The minute you come back to your conscious brain and your
Yeah.
mind, and you're like, going, oh, what was I thinking about again? Sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And because I have clear traumas surrounding money.
We all do, man. We all do. Yeah, yeah.
I have
But
some
yeah,
very clear traumas surrounding money, and I want to delve a little bit into hypnosis to be able to see, to find those triggers and to get. I need because the belief systems need to tumble because I keep running into I keep thinking I'm breaking this belief system and then boom, that shit got to go.
mm.
It has to. It has to.
Well, I've seen massive, fantastic transformation with myself already, and with others,
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
peers in groups, and also um, with people who I've already brought into hypnosis with the as what I was speaking about last time
Hmm.
with on Zoom and
Hmm.
everything like what we're doing today with YouTube. Um, so it shows definitely that the frequencies and vibrations of hypnosis
Hmm.
can, like with Reiki and with
Hmm.
mediumship, can follow through both online and in person just as much.
Yes, yes,
Even though, of
yes.
course, in person always has that more
Always
powerful
better.
impact. I feel what the person who I had the Zoom based call actually had more powerful feedback for me than the person who I'd had the in person
Yeah, but
session with
these
last time. Yeah.
screens, these screens
Mm-hmm.
are powerful. They create that crystal, the crystal, in these screens, that crystals, they do the same thing as the atmosphere to refract this light, and it helps. It does because you can do the same thing. I can do all the things as long as I'm seeing you here. I can do everything I
Exactly.
need to do.
Yeah.
I can do everything
And
I need
the
to do.
yeah, and the powerful nature that she then brought back afterwards with when I rang her up a few days later and said, "Oh, just ringing up to debrief and see how you're
Uh-huh.
going." She brought forward, Carrie, some massive amounts of what you would call bliss. But what
Bliss.
she said was just amazing,
Bliss.
amazing,
It's
amazing,
bliss. Ooh, I'm
amazing
feeling it right now
pathways.
too.
Yeah, because she
It's
even she's really quite something else, Carrie, because she went out. She lives in Queensland, and
uh-huh.
she went out, and it was cloudy afternoon after the session, and she
Uh-huh.
said, "Show me thunder, show me lightning," and she filmed this. Yeah, she said horizontal, masculine, feminine type lightning across the
Uh-huh.
sky. She said first it was a streak of bright purple, and then
Uh-huh.
after that was just a white streak of lightning. And then
Uh-huh.
he's going, isn't that fucking yin yang? That's
I
bloody
see it. I see it.
that
That's
masculine and
why.
feminine right there. And that's basically right after the ascended mastery of Christ and Magdalene was stepped forward for
Uh-huh.
her
Uh-huh.
in the hypnosis session. So that's
Uh-huh.
serendipity right there, Terry, of
Yeah,
massive
that's
um,
powerful.
self discovery happening right there already,
That's
even in
powerful.
the illusions of Gaia and the higher
Uh-huh.
realms. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Uh-huh. That's powerful, man. That is
It
that is
was.
that is powerful. That to be able
And
to
when I heard that
to be able to
debrief, I'm like, going,
hold that kind of
holy
energy.
fuck! What a how amazing is that? And then I was
Mhm.
spellbound by going, what do I say to that? I'm like,
You don't. You don't.
you're just going, you just sort of, you want to just be a part of it at the same
You
time
just
though when you hear it. And
exactly, exactly.
thankfully she'd filmed it, but with her
Mhm.
camera. But it's just like, holy shit,
You know,
that feedback is something else.
I
Yeah.
believe that the call to be able to speak about the supernatural is is such a powerful one for us to connect here, you know, with our backgrounds and our lived experiences, and be able to come here and talk the way we do is such a rarity to see. And I believe that we have there's a calling that happens, because what's happening on this plane of existence is we are going to be needed. This collective voice here.
Just to interrupt for a second for a minute.
Go
I
ahead.
just said, basically just said, yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock.
It's man, I feel the brevity of it. I feel the power of it. I feel the magnitude of it. I feel the love of it more than anything, man. And I'm so encouraged. The more we have these conversations, the more encouraged I become, and the more energetically, the more that feeling of bliss just kind of wells up inside. I'm so grateful, brother, for you, my friend. I'm so
Mm,
grateful for
I'm
you.
too for you, man. Yeah, because you're teaching me how to be more, as we've been bringing forward today, um, self self respectful, and
Yes,
self focused.
man,
Because I've been
and
so all through my life, I've been so, and I guess it's similar to your mother as well. Going, she's always said, it's not all about you.
yes, it is.
Stop being so fucking selfish. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm. It
yeah.
is.
But
Who?
you
If
need
it
to look
ain't who?
after me now. I've been
Yeah.
spent all my years looking after you, which is bullshit. But
Mm-hmm. Well,
because I've had little fragments of independence. One being when I came down
yeah.
to live on in Richmond in my first year when we first met
Yeah. Yeah.
in Melbourne. That was
Mm-hmm.
my first sort of soiree into independence yet
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And before that, I'd gone to Queensland and done a year at student accommodation, and they yet
Mm-hmm.
again that was more independence. So where
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing of um, you need to serve me and
Mm-hmm.
um, you need to put all your attention onto me is basically both coming from I know my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother's spirit for sure, and my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother's energy coming projecting through my mother, as
Mm-hmm.
like mother like daughter, like the old expression
Mm-hmm.
says, and then also even though I observed it, I sort of took it on board, unfortunately, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really affected me moving forward. And thanks to you, and thanks to people in the course that I've been doing as well,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically bringing forward, well, where's your responsibility of self, Sam? Is what
Mm-hmm.
others in the course have been saying to me. I'm like going, I haven't been able to find that because I've always
Mm-hmm.
having to be. I think I've always having to be in the mindset of being in service either to mum or to
Mm-hmm.
someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, and I had to go. Yeah.
that has let really sort of made me, um, and then it's gone into severe detriment of people pleasing behaviour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of people are going to come to me once I learn how to get out of this properly
Yes. Yes.
for that with both mediumship and with hypnosis. Because
Mm-hmm.
I look around more and more and I see that same projection
Yeah.
of
It's a wild projection, man.
I need to do this so I don't piss this person off, so I don't end up homeless, so I don't
Mhm.
end up dot dot dot. Yeah.
You know what I believe, man? I believe that the worst the part of it that is the worst part of it, and I'm just gonna say that
Mm,
is the desire for relationship with those people. It's
exactly.
that desire,
And then the word
that
narcissist comes up straight away
yep,
when you said that. Yeah, yeah.
that desire. Like I want my mama, I want my
Mm,
dad, I want these people in my lives. I'm going to so I'm going to do everything in my power. You know, I had to give up that ghost. I had to tell that ghost to go because it was one of those things where where I can I had to say fuck them people. And who is them
yeah.
people, man? Who is them
And
people?
that's
Them people
fucking
is
hard to do. Yeah,
anybody,
yeah.
anybody. And it's the hardest thing to do is to set a boundary there and to do a 180 when it comes to the people who you love and the people that say they love you, that to where you just have to say, hey, hey, you sink or swim. But sink or swim was for me, that I had to learn that was for me, that I had to be to sink or swim. I had to, and this is where I am. I'm learning to sink or swim without these people now, especially now without those people in the capacity that they were before, because I can't go back there. I can't.
No,
I
because
can't.
you'd be sidestepping 100 steps back instead of where you've
100%.
gone from 100 steps forward. Yeah.
Yep. Right back on that loop. Right back on that
Mm.
loop. Right back in the matrix.
Yeah. Well, not even that. You'd just be right back on the shame, guilt, grief train,
That
basically.
guilt
Yeah.
grief
Yeah.
train. That I believe that is the
Choo
matrix.
choo, all a fucking board.
I believe that is the
Time to
matrix,
feel
man. I
that
think. Yeah.
shame.
Yep.
Time to feel
We
that shame.
and you just gonna be feeling it, and then you be, why am I feeling this? Why am I doing this? Well, it's because you are on it. You've called it back to your existence. You've called it back. You said, "Come hither," and you stepped forward and you put yourself in the shit.
And I'm hearing Johnny Cash stepping forward as well for the train to go. I hear the train a coming. It's rolling around the bend.
Man, and it's coming too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. So I think we did good. Like an hour and 40 minutes. I need to take a get out of here so I can use the
Definitely.
bathroom and get
But I
myself
think we
together. But this was,
call it a night, man. But
yeah, man, this is good.
fantastic live. Yeah, do you want to
Yes,
turn off
man.
the live now? Yeah,
Yes. Oh,
how do we turn it off?
wait, what did I do? What do I do? Okay, I see it. I'm gonna cut it off. I'm cutting it off now.